Hello, everyone, and welcome back to People Jew Wanna Know podcast. Today's episode is a little trailer, a little intro to a new season I'm releasing this summer, lovingly called Goy You Will Enjoy. The name for this season was suggested by my brother Daniel, whom you know very well at this point. And I came up with this season concept after going to the ADL Never Is Now conference. I met a ton of non-Jewish people who are such amazing advocates and allies to Jews that I realized I'd like to talk to them. This season features about 10 episodes that are all incredibly different. I don't want to spoil too much, but from former drug dealers turned into uber successful entrepreneurs to Palestinian activists who were tortured by Hamas, we're going to hear it all. You definitely do not want to miss this. I'm very, very proud about the crazy, impressive, and diverse guests that I was able to secure for this season. These are individuals who have dedicated decades of their careers towards helping Jewish people. I'm still trying to think about the through line of the season, like what the common denominator is amongst all the guests. And what I've heard consistently is that these guests are, one, all inspired by our Jewish resilience, and two, felt they had to speak up because they thought that history was being rewritten in a really dangerous way. And that's what I want to underscore. The Jewish people are not on the wrong side of history here. We are a distinct ethno-religious group completely entitled to our own nation state. Sure, we can criticize our government and have made mistakes in the process, but that does not deprive us of our fundamental right to our indigeneity in the land of Israel. It is absolutely an urgent and highly concerning fact that the history of Israel and the Jewish people has been rebranded, reimagined to be something that vilifies us in an untrue way. And that's why I felt it's been so difficult to connect with non-Jews, because I feel like I'm always starting from the point of, see, I'm not bad. Before you tune me out, just give me a chance to prove to you that maybe you can see this differently. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to start the conversation from the assumption that I'm already the bad guy or that Israel and the Jews have done something wrong. In prep for this season, I asked people that follow me on Instagram to email me letters from non-Jews in their life. I want to read you excerpts from some letters I've gotten from my listeners about their relationship with non-Jewish friends and peers since October 7th. This feeling of being rejected or dismissed by non-Jews and the pain that comes from that is something that each one of you will completely understand. I know it. So here's the first one. I've made all of these letters anonymous, so let's say it's been sent in by Katie. Katie says, "It makes me sad that I avoid telling new friends or coworkers that I lived in Tel Aviv, a gigantic part of my lore/growth. I get nauseous accepting a new friend to my private Instagram, knowing my time in Israel is now available for them to find and exploit. Not my favorite trait, but I'm vulnerable and I'm working on it. I recently told a newer friend I was at the airport during our phone call. When she asked me where I was flying, I responded, Israel, feel free to hang up on the phone and never talk to me again. I wonder when I'll feel both strong enough to just say Israel and when I'll feel safe enough to not have to think about my response at all, like before October 7th. Spoiler, she didn't hang up and later asked me how my trip went." One gentleman sent me a brief comment, but he made his point clear. We'll call him Mark. Mark writes, "Every Republican I know has been consistent about reaching out to me. Milestones, holidays, etc. Leftists, not a chance. Lots have been reminding people, however, that they're an ally to the Jewish people or they had a Jewish great-grandfather, stories like that too. And it's performative allyship, period." I'll add here as Margarita my own commentary. Certainly, we have bipartisan support of Israel on both sides of the government. But I do have to agree with this person that for some reason, the right seems to be dominating publicly on the issue of Israel and anti-Semitism. They are more outspoken, more supportive, more principled on this one issue. And I really hope that this can change because we really require support from both sides of the aisle in order to stay safe in America. Here's another excerpt of a letter I got from a woman that listens to the podcast and works in the arts and entertainment. "I wouldn't say that I've had too many happy moments from friends and people who are not Jewish. I did have some experiences that more so broke my heart and or made me feel invalidated. It wasn't long after October 7th that I had dinner with a friend I have known pretty much my entire life. I know that for other causes she has used her voice to speak up. I told her how pro-Palestinian protesters made me nervous because I didn't think they liked Jews. She shut me down and said that she didn't think it was true. My heart dropped to my stomach. If someone from another marginalized group had said this, I could guarantee that her response would be different. As hurt as I was, I went on with the night as if nothing had been said, even though I felt horrible. At another dinner we had later on, I kept bringing up what had happened and pretty much begged her to see October 8th, the movie. She knows that I struggle financially, but I was willing to pay for her to see it, and I even offered to see it with her. I felt like I was annoying her every time I discussed what was going on. I knew when it was still in theaters she wouldn't see it, and I was proven right. I believe everyone should be respected. No one should be discriminated against because of their race, religion, ethnicity, who they love, etc. If they are innocent individuals, then I could care less about where they come from. If you promote death, hurt others by any means for no reason, then yeah, I won't respect you because that is cruel. After the news of the Bibas family and seeing a coworker start showing her pride with Jewish jewelry, I started to wear mine, jewelry that I hadn't worn in years. I'm very lazy with jewelry because if I can't keep it on in the shower, I forget to put it on. But nowadays, I never forget. I make sure to wear it because I don't want to be scared. I see the few celebrities online that are standing up for the Jewish people. Those people who I've never met have shown me more allyship than the people closest to me. I'm not trying to shame anyone or make myself look like a pity case. It's just a sad situation. I wish I had more positive experiences with allies. Okay, and finally, I want to read you an excerpt of a letter from another woman, and this one really got me. We'll call her Rachel. I want to tell you about my previous best friend. We'll call her Terry because that's not her name. We were friends for 8 years in our 20s. She knew me before, during, and after I lived in Israel. I felt comfortable filling her in on our intra-community disputes, something that I know better on now. And she always asked a lot of questions about our customs. Terry was a staunch atheist, but always celebrated the bigger Catholic holidays because she'd say, it's tradition, you get it, you're the same. We'd wish each other happy holidays at the appropriate time with kind, bright, and thoughtful texts or cards throughout the year. It took Terry almost a week to reach out after the pogrom on October 7th. I think she only did it because I posted it on my story saying, reach out to your Jewish friends. It was quite an all lives matter, peace on earth text, but I still appreciated any crumb of condolence. 7 weeks after the pogrom, we caught up over FaceTime. After about an hour, the conversation drifted to the war and its global effects. I know I brought it up first, but I was hoping for it to be a compassionate talk. Rape and murder is bad. Any dead kid is a tragedy. She got a twisted smile on her face, something that I've never seen on her before. Do you want to guess what she said? You know it. Cue the TikTok sound bites. Well, it's a genocide. They're ethnic cleansing the land entirely and people are starving. What else would you call this? No, Terry. It's a war. And I'm telling you, I'm frightened by my peers blocking ambulances on city streets, screaming for my death in a language that they don't speak. Intifada means uprising. It's not violent. We know the rest of this, right? And our rebuttals. My favorite comment of hers was, I know so much about this. I've been learning about this every day since October 7th. Terry, I've been learning this my entire life. After Rosh Hashanah, Terry sent me a belated yet cheerful text hoping for the safety of all Jewish people who practice their faith. At least she finally mentioned our hostages. Yes, I did kindly tell her an atheist Jew is still, shocker, a Jew, and thanked her for her hostage comment. I went to Israel in December and posted several times that I was clearly in a mamad during a rocket siren. She viewed my stories but did not reach out, even when I literally could have died. But she did like my Holocaust post from the Yad Vashem Museum. Are we surprised? It took me about a year to let go of our friendship. Denial, anger, bargaining, depression, acceptance, what's up? I no longer acknowledge her holiday greetings or send her one. She might chalk it up to her now having a kid and that our friendship naturally faded. I never directly told her how much her sneering blood libel pained me, and I don't know if I regret that or not. I haven't unfollowed her or removed her as a follower yet, but I can feel I'm near ready. It's heartbreaking until I remind myself she insulted my people, a people she's never taken the time to get to know in a real way. Am Yisrael Chai. I told you guys, all these letters I read feel all too familiar for all of us. And I don't think we will ever live in a world where these conversations won't happen. With that said, each one of these guests for this season will offer practical advice for how to build bridges with non-Jews so these conversations feel a little easier for us. I've seen a lot of discourse in the last few weeks online about some of the Jewish influencers making content that doesn't really influence anyone or that it doesn't change the hearts and minds of anyone. And we talk about this extensively in this season. After doing some reflection, I think that I, Margarita, have decided that here's what I think works when it comes to changing hearts and minds. To me, the most effective method is grassroots work. That means going out, meeting with students at their schools, doing breakout groups, tabling on campus, organizing meetings and clubs, having self-defense classes for your local community, etc. It's not the galas or elite Shabbat dinners, which of course I've attended and even hosted too. But if your KPI is changed behavior or changed thinking, grassroots is the way to go. And I've really internalized this, and I'm trying to bring this to life more. Because up until now, I've been known for organizing Shabbat dinners, which are fun social events, but they won't make a difference in terms of the rhetoric. You know, a month ago, I was hired as an MC for the Montgomery County Teens Against Anti-Semitism Fellowship. It's a fellowship for high schoolers where they learn about anti-Semitism and how to combat it. Having a chance to sit down with a group of 12 students and role play with them how a conversation would go with an anti-Zionist or where to find resources about moderate Muslims, I could feel that I was actually able to make a meaningful difference for them. That does not compare for me to like a swanky Shabbat dinner where there's good food and entertainment. Again, there's room for both things in the community. I just think I'm starting to gravitate more towards grassroots work. Anyway, one of the guests in this season really impacted me in a profound way. It's Destiny Albritton, who will kick us off as our first Goy You Will Enjoy. When I went out to pitch this season to potential guests, I talked about it as I'm working on a season dedicated to non-Jewish allies. Destiny actually sent me an article she had written for JNS that was titled, "Don't Call Me a Non-Jewish Zionist." In this article, she discussed that for any other activism, we wouldn't call someone a non-gay LGBTQ ally or a non-Black or a non-Asian ally. We just call them an ally. So why is it that Jewish people are always so specific about calling people out as non-Jews? Destiny stresses that this language can make people feel excluded and othered by us. And suddenly it clicked with me. I think Destiny is right. Our allies are allies. We don't need to underscore that they're non-Jews. That's kind of implied. So in that sense, I'd like to say that this season is dedicated to allies. Allies who have spoken up for us in a very earnest, touching way. In my episode with Mayor Hersom, who is a tremendous activist and worked on the last presidential election, I told Mayor that I can probably count the number of non-Jewish friends I have left on 2 hands. And after this season, I feel that I can take that back. Thanks to all the amazing people I interviewed, I not only have more non-Jewish friends than I had before, but I also feel hopeful. I feel hopeful that there are a ton of non-Jewish people who get it and they want to be on the right side of history with us. As Destiny said in her JNS article, we allies don't expect a trophy or a standing ovation for simply doing what's right. It really means a lot to hear that. On that note, I hope you enjoyed this intro episode, and on Wednesday, you will hear from Destiny. Until then, please don't be strangers and reach out to me on Instagram at PeopleDoWannaKnow if you want to discuss what you heard today. Okay, bye for now. If you've enjoyed this podcast, please go ahead and rate us 5 stars. Be the first to hear our episodes by subscribing to People Do Wanna Know wherever you get your podcasts. And for exclusive content, follow us on Instagram at People Do Wanna Know.